Today I'm going to go over one of my favorite fountains I've made from just buying a bowl and a cup at the thrift store, and all the birds love it. The hummingbirds love it, the orioles love it, house finches, everybody. And I just picked that up at the thrift store. It cost me like $3. That's how cheap these are, but you can get those cups at like Dollar Tree or most any store, really. They come with the straw and everything. They're so easy to make, and the birds love them. All you're going to need to get is just a solar pump. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? We're going to get into why we're redoing this video. The hummingbirds just come all day and take a bath. It's easy to sit on. They love sitting on the flat top of the cup, which is actually the bottom, and they sit there and they can scrub all the pollen and nectar off of them. This is why it's like a freeway of traffic of hummingbirds. Maybe that's why we have thousands. I don't know. And this video went into the millions with everybody making these fountains. But anyways, let's get back into this, and then you can always go back and see the original video, which is in much more detail. So that's the cup. I got a solar fountain kit that has the panel and the long cord, which was really lucky that this one fit the straw. But you know, a lot of my new ones, I am using straws now that fit these pumps. I made a hole on the bottom of the cup. This is so the straw can go through. This has been a fabulous, wonderful fountain to make because everything is contained inside the cup. So you could lift that cup up and you could put it into any bowl that you like. You have a little tiny pond, you can sit it in there, you can sit in a bowl. Then I made a hole on the side, and don't use those round flat ones, they don't work. Only the ones with the long cord. But I made a hole on the side so I could slip the pump inside. And then I scratched the top, and see how the base is going to be put back together once the pump is. I strung through the cord because most of these pumps come apart. They have a plug. And then I put the base on. See how now you can just lift it up, move it anywhere you want. It's the easiest, most fun thing to make. And then I got that clear plastic bowl, hence clear plastic bowl. We'll get back into that in a minute. I cut the straw to fit because I wanted the water to just kind of bubble over the top, and I took my hot soldering iron and I smoothed the straw, and it, like I said, I made scratches, and that was it. Roughening up the plastic like that gives them a better grip. The scratches are so their tiny little nails can hang on to the top of the cup and take their bath, which they do from morning till sundown, because that's when solar fountains run. Because the panel sits out in the sun, that's your power, no electricity, and it can even be just a little bit of sun. They don't need a lot of water. If it's a cloudy day, it'll just slowly run or give a little burp. But on a nice sunny day, that's how far the water comes up. Now let me tell you why we're going to go back over this. Because, well, let's just say those clear bowls, they don't look good after 2.5 years. And I wanted to change up the same one, well, just because. So here's the fountain about 2.5 years later, and the beautiful crystal clear plastic bowl has turned yellow. And on top of that, there's a lot of hard water and scrubbing and cleaning on it. It still works perfect. The birds don't mind, but I thought, you know what? Let's zhuzh it up a little bit, and let's give it a little bit of craft work on it so we can have a different look, but still working the same way, and the birds won't mind at all. Now, so many of you, if you're following me gardening, you know that I use tester paint. Now, when I'm lucky and I can go into Home Depot or Lowe's, I can find it for 50 cents. But these two that I'm going to use here, I did not. I actually bought them full price. They were about $4 a little canister, and they work good on plastic. I use it all the time, especially on aged plastic. So what I'm doing here is I'm painting the outside only blue. And here in California, all our paint is non-toxic because they're all acrylic and they don't use anything that's toxic. So the top part, I am just going to paint here, give it a little bit of a look so it's not yellow, blue, and I let it dry. Now what I'm going to do is I've got one in blue and one in yellow. Now there is one thing we're going to have to keep in mind when we're going to do what I'm going to do next, that is mixing paint. These tester paints are already mixed. So yellow hopefully is yellow, but a lot of times your blue or your reds you buy may not be exactly that. In other words, they've already got something else mixed in there. So you could end up mixing blue and yellow together, but the blue could have a different color already in there. So you could take your blue and yellow instead of turning green that we all learned in grammar school, it could turn muddy. So do keep that in mind when you're mixing these paints. So kind of test a little bit first before you mix everything together if that's what you're going to do. Here I did get a green. I didn't get the vibrant green, kind of a tone down, which means it's possible that the blue had maybe a bit of red or something in there, but it's going to work for what I'm going to do here. And what I am going to use the green for here is just around the base, kind of giving it's a real simple design of a blue sky with green grass, and then we'll put a little more decor on there. I mean, you can get as fancy as you want. I'm just kind of making this quick so you can get an idea of what I'm doing here. I'm eliminating that yellow bowl and just putting a little more color out on my deck. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decoupage using Mod Podge, and I'm also going to use stickers. Now I could freehand paint butterflies, flowers, or whatever I want on it, but I'm going to use the stickers I picked up from Dollar Tree. Faster, easier, and it will work. So I'm using a butterfly and I'm going to put on a flower. Now I'm going to give you a tip here, and it's a personal tip. Now the decoupage that I use, the Mod Podge, is I use dishwasher safe. The reason is it's waterproof. The outdoor one, if you read the label, tells you do not get it wet. It is not meant to be out in the rain, which to me makes no sense. It says outdoors, but anyways, let's not digress on that. So going back to that, I use dishwasher safe. It works fantastic, and I use it for a lot of my projects. And then I use a really nice makeup brush that I bought at Dollar Tree, and then just paint everything over. It will protect the paint. It will protect your design and whatever you put on it. Isn't that cool? My thought is, if the decoupage says it can be dried and then washed in the dishwasher, it most certainly can take our weather outside. Now the last thing I'm going to do with the cup is I'm going to add some holes, and that's just a power unit that I can use small electrical appliances with. And I love those things. I use them if the lights go out, I can put on a light, but we're not talking about that today. So I'm going to heat up my soldering iron, and I'm going to make extra holes all around the cup. This way it won't float. If the water doesn't go up to the water line, you may have a cup or even a bottle, whatever you've made your fountain out of, bouncing because there's air in there. So if you've got holes in there in the cup, the water will flow back and forth, and it will keep it anchored better. So go ahead, if you find your cup is moving around, just add some extra holes. Don't go through your straw. This is not trying to put holes in the straw that's in the center. Just holes in your cup so it won't float, and it will be held down with the weight of water. And that's all there is to it. Then the whole thing is contained, and you can just pick up that cup and put your solar panel wherever you want in the sun, and then sit your cup, once you've made these, into any bowl of your liking. But we're going to put it back in the original bowl, just with a little more decor on it. So there it is. Now it's set up where it was before, and I'm just going to fill it up. Remember, we only painted the outside, so you could do it with almost any paint you want. And now you just fill it up. The inside is still the original plastic. This was a number 5, which is food safe. And I have a lot of videos on what plastics are safe. All you have to remember is 1, 2, 4, and 5, and you can use those. It's the same plastic they use for our containers for our food. Fill it up with water. Now you just set back your cup that's already put together and just put the panel in the sun. That's how easy it is, and that's what makes this so wonderful and portable, that you can put it in any bowl of your liking, and you can change it up anytime you want. And there it is. Now all we have to do is flip that panel over, and poof, there goes the fountain, the pump that is over 2 years old and still running strong. And remember, if it ever stops working, check out my videos on how to clean up the pump, because it's the easiest thing to clean and fix. They rarely break. Usually all they have is a little debris in there. It just needs to be cleaned out. And there it was before I started, yellow bowl full of hard water, and now it's got a little more color to it. I don't have to see the hard water if it's there, and I think it looks really pretty. And the birds love it too. So you saw how easy it was to take an old fountain, clean it up, make it look real pretty, and let the birds still enjoy it. And don't forget, if your pump ever stops working, check out the videos because sometimes all it needs is a good little cleaning. So with that, have a wonderful day and don't forget to eat what you grow. And please like and subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. Bye-bye.